It's 7 o'clock. It's Thursday night. I'm Mac James, stand-up comic, and it's time for Stand Up for News. Welcome back. It's Thursday. It's 7. It's another episode of Stand Up for News. Stand up for news. Clap, clap. Stand up for news. Clap, clap. We'll stand up for you. Clap, clap. You can stand up too. Clap, clap. Don't sit down. Stand up now. Stand up now. Stand up for news. All right. Yeah. Facebook's gone again. Well, all right. Anyway, I am Mac James, your host of Stand Up for News. I'm a stand-up comic, and it's like it sounds. We tell the news, you know. And this is my co-host, Robin, Macho Woman Savage. Say hello.
Hey, I am very excited to be here. We've got a really fantastic show lined up tonight.
Heck yeah, and she's a very funny comedian, you guys. And then we have our special guest over here next to her, Spike Salzer, stand-up comic.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Welcome to the show.
All right.
I have my co-host, correspondent over here, Joe T. Izzo. Say hello, Joe T. Izzo.
Hello.
Welcome back. And then my other co-host is back. He was gone last week doing some gangster stuff with his kid.
Oh, yeah.
Manny Avila, a very funny comedian. Welcome back.
Hola, Glasha, para venir, Glasha.
So do we have to hit one for English for Manny now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, fine. Consider it this way. Boom, press one for
I swear
English.
to God, Matt, you always scare me every time you speak. I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing right now? Like, what's out there? You're just lurking back there. I always forget, man. You know, you like the all-seeing eye.
Yeah.
So, Spike, you understand how the show works. You brought some news you can stand up for because basically we invite people that write news stuff with us to come on and talk about it. It's stand-up comics. We tell the news because the news can't just stand up for itself. We stand up for it because it was born in a wheelchair and it doesn't have any legs and stuff, you know. And if some bully tries to shake down the news calls us here at 727-441-3000, and we go down there and we rough up the bully for messing with
Think of the news as a Make-A-Wish kid, and we're John Cena.
Yeah.
Right? Like we come in and we save the day.
You can't see us because we're on the radio.
We're on the radio.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we can't see you. That's the beauty of YouTube Live.
That's what's up. My phone on Facebook keeps on. I ain't got no signal today.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry about it. We still have YouTube. We're good.
All right. So, Spike, we're going to do a quick interview first with you. Where are you from originally?
Originally from Ohio, Columbus, Ohio.
Ah, gross. Go blue. Hail to the victors of them almighty victors. You knew I was a Michigan boy, though. So,
You didn't look retarded.
It's Down syndrome. You don't say retarded, and you say you don't look Down syndrome.
It looks like he guzzled a few gallons of that Flint, Michigan water, right?
Listen. That happened way after I moved here. I've been here 23 years. Anyway, so when did you start stand-up comedy? Did you start it in Ohio or down here?
Started in Ohio, but I did most of it down here 8 years ago. That's when I've done most of it.
You've been doing it longer than me. You were on the scene when I started, and I was like, oh, this guy's funny. He's my kind of humor. So like 10 years you said you've been doing it?
10 years.
10 plus
10
years?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, awesome. And then, where's your favorite open mic comedy room to go to?
Wow. Now it used to be Coconuts, and because I like the crowds we got there, but the new people that took over, Sunshine
City Comedy Club.
Yeah, they're doing a real good job too. So
it's the same thing.
It's the same. You just curved that story right at the end. I'm like, where are you going with this? They're doing a good job too. I'm like, okay, good.
I put
I used to like it, but
3,500 minutes on that stage. I've put on that stage like 3,500 minutes. A lot more than any other stage. So it didn't really. It just still, as long as it's still there, it's still my stage. I feel like, you know.
Yeah,
because you featured and hosted and
it's
headlined there a million times.
It's a nice fit. I like it a lot.
For years, it seems like.
So let me ask you got into comedy. So you decided to do it when you were older, right? What made you decide to get up there? He's 23. I hate to break it, everybody.
I actually really started when comedy first came to Columbus, Ohio, and I got a divorce.
Good job.
And I wrote, and they never had open mic until, I don't know, the second year the clubs were open.
Yeah.
And I did a routine about my divorce.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
And so the divorce, there's inspiration in every disaster. You know what I mean? There you go.
What was it like being on Johnny Quest, Race Man? Was a good character. It was a good experience.
I just didn't like how the guy drew me. Other than that, I I was fine with it, really.
I love you, man.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so your favorite open mic is still the same room then, or has it changed?
Yeah.
Did you
See how
think
my voice
Birdie's
changes
was
when I
fun?
talk about that? Yeah.
We did a show at Birdie's on Belcher at 1381A on Belcher Road. We were there Wednesday last night. Did you guys have fun?
Yeah, awesome.
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah,
It was a
Yeah.
pretty good
Great.
crowd.
Great.
The crowd
Great
built
crowd.
as the show went on, which is weird. Usually it's built up first and then it dwindles, but it's a little reverse, bizarre. I had fun too. So every Thursday, next Thursday, there we have Captain Jazz, but we'll do that when we do our plugs.
If we could shout out Ants Rants, he was the headliner last night.
yeah,
He
shout out to
was
Ants Rants.
phenomenal.
Yeah,
He was
that's
hilarious.
buddy.
Fire.
Thank you, Ants
He
Rants.
rocked that single mother house.
He did.
He did Orlando Invasion, headlined it, and destroyed all these rooms that night that we had, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah, if anyone's listening and you have a chance to see Ants Rants, run, don't walk. He's a really funny guy.
He's gonna blow up, I think, soon.
Yeah.
All right.
But Spike, let me ask you real quick. So, were you always into comedy? Like, what made you decide to actually take that leap and just get on stage for the first time?
I always loved comedy since I was very little. They used to have a Parade magazine. I think it just still exists for Sunday papers.
Yeah.
And they had jokes in the back, my favorite jokes. And I would read those jokes to my parents on the way to church.
Oh, yeah. That's so funny.
And many times they said, Spike, don't do it again. Let somebody else do those.
What were some of your comedic inspirations like that you looked up
That's
to?
what I was gonna ask you too.
Bob Newhart, Steve Martin.
Oh yeah, okay. I see that. Yeah,
Milton Berle.
Listen, Spike,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. Look, I'm a ball buster, man, and I'm like, let's be nice, I'm not trying to make fun of how old you are, but that was some of the most old timey answers that I ever got.
I know.
I used to, you used to read the comic strips on the back of the magazine, and my mom used to take me to church. We used to always get some ice cream on the way over.
So,
But
Spike,
I deal with it.
are you the funniest guy on your bowling team?
Did you go to school with Laura Ingalls? All right, I'm done. I'm not here to roast you. I want to ask you, like, who your favorite comic is locally. Who do you like to? Because you've been on stage with a bunch of those guys.
Wow. I can't really come up with one off the top. Locally.
Yeah, they got Best of the Bay going on. Have you seen the list?
I know.
It's hard to vote for all of them.
Or you can
I
just
really
name
can't
one
come
of
up.
us,
I really can't come up with any particular one.
Just name like three.
There's a lot of just great comics down
Like
there.
I can name three: Jay Legend, JJ Curry. I like those two guys a lot. Donnie Stopa. I like those guys a lot. And Manny Avila and Robbie Savage. Spike Salser.
Yeah, James. Nobody likes to kiss ass.
That's funny.
All right. Anybody else have a question for our guest, Spike?
I was just picturing a young Spike in the back of his mom's car and reading Andrew Dice Clay, Hickory Dickory Dock.
Blind mice.
We're on our way to church.
Jack and Jill went up the hill, each with $1.25.
No. I should let you know. When my parents were talking to me, I got the name Spike because they really wanted a dog. And my head was usually out the window as we went down the street. Okay. And then I would come back in to tell the jokes, but the rest of the time I was outside the car.
All right. Well, let's. Anybody, Robin, do you have some stuff that you want to ask before we go right after the news?
I'm trying to think. You came to, I feel like I've seen a lot of you this week because you came to my open mic at the smoke shop last Friday. You did quite well. There wasn't a lot of people, so I had you do 10 minutes and you did really well. And that can be a tough room sometimes, but you did really well that night.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I enjoy doing it as much as I possibly can, as all of us do, because that's what makes us better.
Yeah.
And I didn't appreciate you guys telling me don't come back. Okay.
You told them that.
I mean, there is actually a picture of you with a Ghostbuster circle in there.
Yeah.
But don't take it personal.
We didn't mean it was. We
I
didn't
didn't
mean it
want to bring
literally.
that up. But
That's funny. It was more of an abstract art thing.
All right, you guys, local and national sports news. Our very own, the most coveted player in Major League Baseball, Wander Franco, got in a little trouble. Apparently, he's been dating a 14-year-old minor in the Dominican Republic, and he didn't give her the hush money. So she started posting all these pictures and stuff on social media. Did you hear that? You guys hear about that? Yeah, I bet he's really good at blackjack, you guys. He always hits on 14. All right. So Shane Self said he's actually the only Major League Baseball player to hit in the majors and hit in the minors. In the same day. In the same day.
Shout out to Shane
That was a good one. Shout out to Shane.
That's very much a Shane Self joke.
He was thinking about calling in, but he had to do some family stuff. So go ahead, Robin. Over to you.
Okay, well, in honor of Spike being from Ohio, I'll tell this joke. A study out of the University of Ohio found that random acts of kindness improve mental health symptoms by having an impact on positive cognition and emotions. Plus, it allows people to brag about it on Facebook.
That explains a lot.
It's funny because it's so true.
well, I tell you what, I experienced some really unbelievable stuff today. I spent most of the day at Clearwater Beach, and I saw some guy today rip a woman's string bikini off at the beach. Yes. And they asked him why he did it. And he said, because it was pinching the big guy, and that string that went up my butt was too much to handle.
Now, were you the one who cut the string, or?
That is standing up for the news.
I told him, now we're going home.
Yeah. Then I said, I don't want to go home.
Joe Chiazzo is back, baby. What do you got for us, Joe? Stand up for the news.
So, this one is out in California in Santa Cruz. The renegade otter is back at it again,
Surfboard thief?
stealing surfboards and pawning them so they can buy more Bitcoin.
That's crazy. They like have search parties out trying to find this otter. What are they going to lock him up in jail?
Wait. I know nothing about this. Is this true? Is there an otter stealing?
There's an otter
He's stealing surfboards from surfers in California.
And they pinned it down to one otter?
Yeah.
Is he
they
like on
can't catch
footage?
him.
Like at night running around with the
He's
surfboard?
getting on them and he's just like riding around on them.
Yeah, they're just jacking
And
their
then he
stuff. That's
beaches
funny.
them and then he goes and steals another one right off the surfers while they're surfing.
Yeah.
He fights with them and takes it.
Is he called the Renegade Otter, or was that just your name for him, Joe?
No, that's he's
That's
the
his
outlaw
nickname.
Otter.
Yeah.
I messed that one up.
I like the name Renegade Otter.
Renegade,
I'm the Renegade Otter.
He's too cute to go to jail, though.
We got that bootleg straight to DVD version of the movie. You know?
That's what the woman I spoke last night was saying.
It's utterly ridiculous.
No, she was just saying otter.
Yeah.
Otter.
Yeah, get Otter here with that joke.
If he
man.
goes to
You know?
jail, though, he's definitely too cute to go to prison, you guys.
All right. This is true, and it's just weird, but it's true. A Boston woman says that a Boston woman says she fractured her ankle when she slipped on a piece of ham, and she's now suing the manufacturer of the ham. All right. This is true. This is from Boston. You know, talk about a ham on ham combat. All right. Seriously though, I'm stunned that this woman actually lost to the meat. You know, she lost that battle because I usually beat my meat when I come up against it. You know, like when I fight it, I beat it. You know, I don't.
Right?
You know,
Always.
so yeah, so
I always come out on top.
You guys.
all right. That's funny.
So, in Pennsylvania, a video of a house exploding last week. 5 people died. The house explodes. They don't know why. The video has gone viral, and ironically, it is also blowing up. True story, dude. It's crazy.
The craziest thing about that is that if you actually watch it, they go, it damaged some other houses in the neighborhood. It leveled both houses on both sides of it.
Yeah.
And then like 3 other houses down, like had damage throughout,
And
and they're
what
just like,
happened? Was it a bomb? Did he know
They
it was a
don't
bomb
know.
or what happened?
"Oh,
They
well,
didn't
so
tell us yet.
apparently,
Wow.
this is not
That's
the
just the
first time a
scoop.
house is blown up in that town.
There is no
Oh, yeah?
gas hooked up to this house, they said.
Yeah,
What?
It was electric stoves and they had electric
just blew
heaters and
up?
stuff. They
Wow.
didn't, that's
Yeah,
what
I mean-
Pam, I'm sorry, okay. My
Seriously?
girlfriend, I'm not supposed to
Somebody-
say her name on the radio. Pam told me that part. She
So-
stands up for the news for us too, you guys.
well, apparently someone in there has information on the Clintons.
Yeah.
No,
What's up?
I'm sorry I
Clinton
said that on the
Foundation
air.
paid
We
him a
are
visit.
now all at risk.
If you dig deep enough, one of
This
the
is all
residents was
standing up
on
for the
Jeffrey
news.
Epstein's flight list.
As a
You know?
disclosure, this is just news jokes, you guys. Just disclosing that.
Their
part.
address was the same number backwards, but spelled differently. That was part of QAnon. I don't know.
All right. Who's up next?
Okay.
Robin Savage.
A new memo by a a new memo by a pro DeSantis group was published this week, and it advised DeSantis to take a sledgehammer to Vivek Ramaswamy. The memo suggested that he called Vivek either Vivek the Fake or Fake Vivek. So, wow, those are some fighting words. Who wrote those insults? The Red Hat ladies? I don't know if you're going to win the roast
man.
battle with
Fake
those types. Fake Vivek. Vivek the Fake.
You know what really hurt when someone called me fake Vivek. You know that stings so much. Wow.
Those red hats used to come to my bar at every bar I've ever worked at, but they have not
Can
come.
we say that on air? Actually,
Yeah.
Vivets. Are we
Yeah.
allowed to? Are we good? Or
Just
that
Joe
out?
can't say
You
it.
know, is that
Too
Be careful
close.
here.
Too close.
Yeah, they've never come to Dave and Buster's, thank goodness. Those people, those red hat ladies show up and it's just a bunch of Karens, man. It's crazy. Like, you should be happy we're here. Like, nah, man.
You didn't get my Chardonnay right.
There's lipstick on my gloves.
That's funny.
Am
Well,
I up?
Your turn,
All right.
Spike Salzer.
Hey, listen, this is the story. I didn't write it. It was in Sarasota newspaper, not recently, but this was in the Sarasota newspaper not long ago, that commented about Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus going bankrupt.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
And what happened
Just a couple
is
months
now
ago.
there's hundreds of clowns that are out of work, okay? And they have formed gangs now, and they're robbing people in these gangs all over Florida. Yes. And so what they're saying to do, if any of these gangs of clowns, and you can recognize them because they got the big shoes and the big red nose. Yeah, they're still dressed. They're still dressed. That's right.
And they're
Bunch of
charging
bozos.
$5
No,
for
and they come up to these people and rob them. So what they're telling the people to do, if you see these gangs coming at you, you immediately go right for the juggler.
You like that one,
I never
Matt?
did like the juggler. It makes sense. He's the most distracted. You know, he has something going on. You know, you can
zone.
You know, you can probably sneak up on him. You know, you want to stay away from the balloon guys.
Yeah.
Those are the ones you want to. You know, they can make up anything with that. They're like the Green Lantern with the ring. You know, they just make a balloon.
Make an alternative reality.
It's like, oh my god.
Ballooniverse.
Like, when did you stop right here, Robin? I can't go any further. You made a balloon boundary.
Multi-balloonverse. Joe. Oh, man.
All right. So,
Let's get back on
as
track, you
everybody knows, Orange Man is the new black. He was recently charged with RICO in the state of Georgia for election interference. And Americans just said, gas is still $4.50 a gallon. No.
Yeah, be on the lookout for Trump's new special, Orange is the New Orange. Right here on HBO.
So he really got charged, Donald Trump?
Yeah, 700 years he's facing.
Yeah.
So like,
700
if he
years?
did live out his entire 7-year sentence, if he got convicted, he could live to be Joe Biden's age someday. Someday.
Let's don't exaggerate.
Yeah, it's at least 900 years.
Standing up for the news, bud. Yeah.
All right,
He
so
doesn't look a day over
Yeah.
699.
a lot of stuff going on in Pennsylvania, it seems like. You know, we had the building exploding. This is just as newsworthy. A 6-year-old from Pennsylvania was named the 2023 Kids Mullet Champion, like the mullet, the hairstyle.
Mullets?
Yeah. And he was rocking
Not
a
the
mean
fish,
mullet.
right?
Yeah, no. He was rocking a mean mullet, though. I saw a picture of him, you know. That he's only 6 years old, though, so it's technically an ice cream party in the back and a small startup in the front. You know? That's so stupid.
Mountain Dew in the back.
You know, I got that because one time, let me say this real quick. One time I had a coworker of mine, right? And I was hanging out with him, and some guy walked in, and he had like a Hulk Hogan one, where it's like this hair in the back, but bald in the front. And he looks at me, he goes, "Oh, that's a mullet, but that business is closed." That business is closed. That cracked me up.
Just the party.
Closed for business.
That's funny.
Well, the suicide rate has risen 30%, they said last week. They've got professional guys that know all about suicide
Always
rates.
so positive with things.
It's, in the past
suicide.
3 years, it's gone up 30% since Joe Biden and the economy went to the crapper and stuff, and inflation. That's what they said, you know. And I understand. One time I was telling this joke about suicide on stage, you know. And I wrote it after this all started. And this one guy out there in the audience told me to go kill myself.
Oh,
Yeah,
terrible.
but don't judge him yet. You didn't hear the joke. So I told him that I would go out in like a glorious fashion if I ever whacked myself off, you know? And then I would get a helicopter and sit there and spin its rotating blades stationary, and then I would jump up and down on a trampoline, you know? I'd probably put it all on a credit card because I ain't like I'm going to pay it later. And then let it chop my head off. That way I could tell a real funny Sleepy Hollow joke to my dead body. You want to hear it?
Sure.
Oh, good. I said, I never get oral from prostitutes, you guys, because I'm a headless horseman.
Oh.
And the guy told me to go kill myself.
Oh, man.
But then 2 weeks later, Chris was on the show and he's like, "Hey, James," it was like last season, Christopher Wright, the Starlight Collector up in Alaska. He's like, "That guy that told you to go kill yourself, hey, like the other day, he tried to kill himself." Yeah.
I didn't mean to laugh. I'm
And
sorry.
then I'm like, why the heck should I listen to him then, you know? He could, you mean tried? He's like, yeah, like he couldn't even do it. Why should I take his advice, you know? If it was like Robin Williams came to my bedside as a ghost and said, hey, James, go kill yourself, bud. Maybe I'd listen to him. He's got experience and he's funny.
I mean, Robin Williams came to your bed as a ghost. At that point in life, he was real shaky. We might have.
Well, you get it.
I was actually thinking more Aladdin type feel, you know, ghost. Like he comes out like a spirit, you know.
Yeah, so
I like the genie.
I didn't
like a
take the
genie,
guy's
right?
advice because he couldn't even pull off his own suicide. So that suicide rate has gone up. That's in the news.
That was James' TED Talk for the day.
Yeah. I don't know if I should be concerned, or if I should feel scared right now, or.
I'll be scared. It's okay.
Okay, so new research shows that COVID sniffing dogs are better at detecting the disease than COVID tests. So this is just a tip to the public. If you're ever walking by a dog and they immediately put on a mask, you need to seek medical attention.
You're sniffing out. Is that it works better than a test? That's weird, you know? What if you just smell like COVID?
all those cases that were positive came from false positive.
Sound like Fox News over here, Joe.
Well,
Right?
well, if we're going to talk about dogs, let's talk about dogs.
all right.
This was in the paper too. Again, I didn't write this, but there's false advertising. A guy was selling talking dog, $10. So they went out and checked it out for false advertising. Went to the guy's house, and there in the front yard was a sign that said "talking dog, $10." And the guy looked up and he says, "Are you here for the talking dog?" And he said, "Yes." He says, "He's around back." The guy goes around back and he feels stupid. And he sees a dog at the other end of the yard, and he goes, "Are you the talking dog?" And the dog jumps up and says, "Yes, I am," and comes running over to him. And he goes, "Oh my God, what's your story?" And he says, "Well, I was with the police department and then the FBI, CIA, because of where I could go and stuff.
Right.
Other people couldn't." He goes, "That's amazing." He said, "Wait, right there." He goes around to the guy in the front yard and he said, "Why are you selling this dog for just $10? And he says, "Because he's a liar. He's never been out of the backyard."
And he won't shut up. He keeps talking.
Well, in Texas, the Texans finally wrangled Willie the rodeo goat after a wild weeks-long chase. Man, I wrangle my rodeo goat at least once a day.
He's like the goat at escaping, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's like, he's the best, you know? They interviewed him afterwards. He said, bah.
Actually, I'll have you know, Willie the rodeo goat is a lady.
Oh, excuse me for assuming, you know, I hate the gender. Have you asked what it identifies as? You know, that we just assuming
Christmas.
or
Did you hear that?
presumptuous here, you know?
She hates Christmas. She's like, bah, humbug.
Yeah.
When asked if all these jokes bothered her, she said, nah.
They don't bother me.
Okay, let me stop.
What you
Put an
doing
end to
there,
that
bud?
there. Honestly, all right.
What's
And
going
newly,
on?
this is all right. This
Got
is
some news to
interesting.
stand up for?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Stand for
Actually,
news.
no. I'm gonna do this one sitting down. It's like no, we're
Okay.
standing up here. A newly studied species of ancient whale might be the heaviest animal ever found. This is true. You know, scientists reported one day that the creature could challenge Rosie O'Donnell's title as the heaviest animal on this earth.
I need more estrogen in this room.
She came out and told everybody she's a real life psychic.
Yeah,
last
I heard
week.
about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but trust me, she's no medium.
Oh no, What is she then?
So our show is brought to you by My Jointment.
My joint.
My Jointment, you guys,
Oh,
is
yeah.
cannabis
Where did you keep
infused topical
Over there?
ointment, you know, and you spray it on you wherever you have pains, headaches, even menstrual pains, everything.
If your relationship with your
Uh,
daughter is a little rocky, spray some My Jointment and get things up by the weekend. You know, she'll be hanging out watching Netflix with you by Monday. You know,
It's money back there.
All your problems
Yeah,
are
all your
We
solved.
have
problems
free
are solved.
samples here. Call me at 727-479-5861 for your free sample of My Jointment. Robin, how's Mr. Savage doing with it?
Mr. Savage is doing very well. He has a lot of aches and pains, and helps him sleep.
I just
So-
picture him
Doing
up
the
to his
trick,
neck
right?
in My Jointment bottles. Just
He's like, "Call James, I need more."
You've been using it, right, Manny?
I know I have.
I
Honestly,
don't see your brace
look
on your
and look.
wrist
I'm
anymore.
not. Listen, I'm not trying to be over exaggerate here. You know, I literally messed up my hand a bit ago. You guys remember I was wearing that wrist brace. You
Yeah,
guys,
for a
if
couple
you don't
months.
believe me, go back. It's not some kind of elaborate scheme where we, plotted months ahead. I had my wristband on, for a while, and I've used this, and it immediately helped the pain right away.
Like
but then I
5
think
minutes
over
or
time,
less.
it helped out a lot. I'm virtually almost all the way healed. So
Did I give
You know?
you one of these, Spike?
You did not.
No. Okay.
You
well,
did
here's
not.
your free sample.
All
It
right.
is THC
yeah,
infused.
you're at the age where
With
you probably need it
CBD,
more than all of us, I think.
and,
you know?
It's got honey and it has mint oil and beeswax. So it smells good.
It actually
and it takes the
works.
pain. You got any aches and pains? You're like 80 or something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you probably got a sore neck once in a
He's
while.
got the arthritis.
You got a
He's definitely
kink
got the
somewhere.
arthritis.
Spray down one of those kinks and it'll go away in 5 minutes. It's
Well-
I promise you.
I didn't want to show you me doing this, so
Don't spray it anywhere in a Don't spray it
You
anywhere.
don't smoke it. What are you
You
doing?
can already smell it. Man. It smells good.
look, it's working.
I wear it as cologne. I wear it as cologne. Okay, well, I got to do a part 2 to a segment, a story we did last week about the decapitated baby.
Oh,
The baby-
yes.
This is so
The
nice.
baby was born
Wow.
decapitated.
Yeah.
So what happened was the mom. Listen to the story. I'm going to explain.
Abortion? Is that
At the
what-
hospital. Well, let me tell you.
So bad.
This is my story I wrote. Okay, it's about this lady who was at the hospital last week having her baby. They tried to put a head tractor on it because the shoulders got stuck in the vaginal wall, So then they put the head tractor on it, and then the doctor started pulling and broke the baby's orbital bones and jaw and decapitated the head. So she C-section did way too late to get the body out, and then she had the baby vaginally, the head vaginally. They wrapped them. This is what happened since then. 2 days later, they came out, their defense attorney and everything came out, and they said, their lawyer, sorry. Their lawyer came out and said They wrap the baby up, put the head on, bundle it up, put it with the other babies on display while the grandparents and the family are sitting there. Oh, that's our baby and stuff. Isn't that
Oh, that's terrible.
insane?
There's like
I think
Dumb
you
and
guys-
Dumber with the bird. Pretty bird.
It's insane. They did say the baby will be seen in New England horseback riding, though, every October. If you guys ever want in the local town of Sleepy Hollow, the headless horse baby. The movie will be coming out soon. You've seen Boss Baby, right?
Yeah.
This is
I
the
saw
headless
Boss
horse
Baby.
baby.
Yeah.
It's not a horse, half baby. It's a horseback riding
These
baby.
new line image movies are really getting
I
out.
don't know. Boss Baby,
So,
I saw
yeah,
it. The head.
The hospital, like, oh, we're gonna wait till we do the autopsy before we like decide if the doctor was at fault or the hospital was at fault.
Yeah,
I
like,
don't think you need to do the autopsy.
Yeah.
It's a two-part.
how
Here's
often
part
do
of
you
the
just
baby.
see
Here's
one
the other
pop
part.
off?
It's sad to see a baby not be able to get ahead in life.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so sorry. No, I'm sorry. That's rough. Let's keep it going.
I'm
Why,
not-
why do you take us here,
I'm not
man?
repeating the one I
Why
said
do you
last
take us?
week.
Why do you drag us to the depths of hell?
This is standing up for news. Not every story has to be completely
This is
dark.
true.
You got to make light of it somehow. You know.
Yeah.
You're right.
Why can't you make
Are we
light of
doing-
that?
are we doing this week in
You're
history?
healed with laughter. Remember?
Are we doing this week in history?
We can do that.
Well, not yet, but yeah.
Okay.
Robin, fire when ready.
Speaking of hospitals, some hospitals in the UK are using honey and vinegar as wound cleaner. They're finding
Oh.
it's very effective and it's a lot cheaper. Now, U.S. pharmaceutical companies have heard this, and now they're selling honey for $1,000 per spoonful.
Yeah. And you need insurance. You need health insurance.
Well, let's go back to politics. This just happened. Vivek Ramaswamy, he just had a fundraising party, and they were playing Twister during the party. And one of his female friends from India was there, and they were playing that Twister game. This is terrible. The move was right foot to red dot, and she's still unconscious. I don't know.
That one was for you, Bash.
She's still unconscious.
You guys want to try a little improv thing I decided that we should try?
Okay.
Okay, because it's not like you had a choice. So, since our show is now
Unconsensual
brought to
improv. You ready?
Yes, our show is now brought to you by Birdie's Bar on Belcher. Every Thursday, we're there at 7:30 to 9:30 doing our stand-up comedy show.
Every Wednesday.
Captain Jeff. Sorry, Wednesday. I'm
Yeah.
stupid. It's my first day. Anyhow, so our dating app of the week is going to be Birdie's Bar. You got to pick a bird, and you would swipe left or right on it.
Oh, I'm
All right.
unprepared. But
Yeah, it's improv. So, Robin, pick a bird for me.
I would pick a robin, and I would swipe left because.
pretty narcissistic of you,
Yeah,
I'd say.
I would
Pretty,
swipe. I've had enough of robins in my life. I would swipe right on a cardinal because I
Those preachers.
like gingers. I don't know.
Because you're not Catholic, you know?
Because I'm not Catholic.
We'll go with that. That's fine.
I have no idea where this
What about
is
a
going.
crow, Spike?
Okay, so you got a
So we
bird.
just swipe right or left on a
We gotta-
crow.
wait, hold on. We gotta have
I would swipe right on a crow.
Yeah, once you go back black, you never go back. right?
There you go.
Well,
Or he just
they're a
can't
flight
wait for
risk,
the
though, so
They're flying.
I don't know if I would do that.
What about a peacock, Joe? What would you do on a peacock there, Joe?
Oh, wow.
Is there a bird you would swipe left on? Like a bird you would say no on?
Yeah,
Or
that you would reject.
you would reject?
Wow. I would reject a parrot because they don't shut up.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
there
true.
you go.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
yeah. It's not, I was gonna
Same
say
thing with robins, but that's okay.
Hey, all right, Joe, keep it clean. Let's see. All right, so you said peacock.
Peacock, Joe.
Peacock.
Left or
I
right?
would.
Peacock.
Are you into
I
pea or are
would
you into cocks?
probably swipe right on a peacock, especially if it was another male one that had that beautiful plume. It's probably the first time I would be gay for a bird, but it's just so that I can mine it for its resources and sell all its quills. True capitalist.
Manny, you've had time to think about it.
Yeah, right. So I would probably swipe left on America I mean, bald eagle. Yeah.
I'll swipe
They're
right
synonymous,
on a
though,
titmouse.
right? All right. So,
Have you ever heard of a titmouse?
yeah.
It's a bird. I'd swipe right on a titmouse.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds. You know,
Yeah, you know
I was gonna go with
explanation.
bald eagle, you know, because I like my girls with hair, but I was like, you know, maybe, we won't go with that now. I guess I'll pass on the pigeon, just because the pigeons,
Dirty.
yeah, a little dirty. I like,
Street rat. Bird.
Don't get me wrong, if you ever need a little $20 snack, a pigeon's there, but it's horrible. No, but I would swipe right on an ostrich because they got them long legs and that long neck. They got that neck game,
It's a tough glass of water right there.
Got that
And they
neck
like-
game,
They like to bury their heads in holes.
They got those pretty eyelashes.
They're very defensive too. I like it.
Yeah.
It's good. No.
All right, well, that was kind of fun.
You
I
ride
guess.
them for miles.
Do you think that was funny?
Yeah, I like that. I like
All
that.
right. History and jokes, laughs from the past. This week in history in 1973, Nixon resigns on national television. 1974. I guess he went on to become a chef. Yes, he kept saying, "I am not a cook." Thanks, Joe.
Okay. This week in history, August 17th, 1998, Bill Clinton admits to the American public of having an affair while he was in the White House. That ushered in 2 decades of Monica Lewinsky jokes. And I sometimes still hear them
I
at
told
open
one
mics.
last
I
night.
mean-
This week in history. I wasn't ready for this. But anyhow, this week in history.
Well, you were there, so.
Hey.
Go ahead. Just tell us something.
DeSantis first came to Florida, and everybody thought it was Spanish for Santa Claus.
That's a whistle worthy.
That's awesome. So, on this day in 1920, the 19th Amendment was ratified by Tennessee by just one vote,
Oh, wow.
making it the 36th state to approve giving women the right to vote. And it's been all downhill since there. Thanks, Tennessee.
Ouch, 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 ouch. Speaking of
Tennessee,
women,
they can still.
so-
That's a terrible.
I don't have
idea.
one, but we can read this. Let's see, I'm just reading this today. This week in 1945, English author George Orwell published Animal Farm, that anti-utopian satire that became a classic. What's the joke there, guys? Is there, is there any, no, there had to be something there. Come on, Spike, I'm looking at you, man. It's improvised. Go. You got dogs in there. You got nothing for Animal Farm? This is sad.
Move over, Angry Birds.
Yeah.
Get
That's
it,
what-
move.
I mean,
Move.
Move over, Angry Birds.
I now get it, yes.
I'd swipe right on Angry Birds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Little sassy birds.
Okay, I don't
Bring it
have
down
any
a
more
notch.
news jokes.
I got one more this
I'm not
week in
good at
history joke, if you guys
I
want.
Or
have
history, I mean, not news jokes. Go ahead, Mom.
So this week in history, August 18th, 2011, the mayor of a city in Mexico was found handcuffed, blindfolded, and dead after being abducted for 3 days earlier. The mayor had been cracking down on organized crime and police corruption. His death is still a mystery, and I don't know who in the world would have had the motivation to kill him. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, no. There's so many people that it's hard to find. That's too much work, Like, did he have any enemies? Everyone.
At everyone.
Well, and if you heard today in the news, they just found out those little lizards that are running around are dangerous. Nobody believed it until some guy had one in his apartment. And before he could get it out of his apartment, he had not one but 2 unwanted Geico insurance policies.
Oh, yeah. There was this.
We got salmon vanilla, right?
yeah.
There was this
Poison.
lizard that kept going in my cousin's car whenever we went to this truck stop, but he called it a lot lizard. I didn't know. I didn't know. But she was always there.
How
I
many
was
were
like,
there? Is there more than one of them?
oh, yeah. You were the cousin in the store.
He said it was a lot of lizard.
Yeah.
Must have been okay.
A lot of lizards.
That's
I got
plentiful.
yeah,
Quite
sorry.
a lot, Joe?
Well, on this day in history in 1943, Robert De Niro was born.
Oh, okay.
And since
I saw
then,
that.
everybody's had to pronounce who they were actually talking to.
On this
talking to me?
day in
Are you
history,
talking to me?
on this day in history, will go down in history because Joe made it 45 minutes and 48 seconds without swearing on the radio. And I'm so
Good
proud
job,
of you, Joe.
Joe.
I'm very
Good
proud.
job.
You did a
Get the
good
whistle
job
for that.
last night.
Get the whistle for that.
Snapping or wrist.
My name is Joe Izzo. I haven't cursed for 42 days. You know?
A-hole. You don't say the whole word,
A-holes
you say
Anonymous,
A-hole.
you know? Gay-hole Anonymous is what it is. You know?
So look, I want to give a special thanks to Jennifer at Birdie's and all her regulars and all her staff, and a shout out to Steve Towley for bringing out pizza from West Shore. Donated pizza, a little charity for him. He did his first set on stage. He was going to come in.
Went up there for
So
first
West
time.
Shore over there in Largo, thank you guys.
And if you're listening and if you want
For
to try
supporting
to do
local
comedy,
comics.
if you're interested in trying, you don't know where to try, come here. You know, come to Birdie's on Wednesday, do your open mic set, and we'll try to, you know what I mean? Try to get you up there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We'll get you on stage there, Birdie's Wednesdays at 7:30 to 9:30.
And we're
Dirty
gentle to
birdies.
first timers. We don't razz you.
Jeez, man.
Like we've been razzing Spike. We're nice. We're nice to first timers.
Spike was a rough one last night.
Spike was like, "You're gentle on first timers."
Let's start doing our segment plugs. It's plugs, not drugs. So, Robin, where's your plugs at? Where are you at?
Okay,
What's
so,
going on? Where you at?
Weather permitting, I will be a part of the Sunset Comedy Cruise in Bradenton, Florida tomorrow.
Yes.
I don't know about you, but that sounds fun.
Really?
I got one more.
That's where that came from.
I knew this would be good.
I got a whole truck full of them. And then on Sunday, the 20th, I will be the featured comedian at Professor J events at the Steep Station in St. Pete.
Yeah.
All right.
I featured there. I love that one.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's the
Yes.
Steep Station, and it's not to be confused with the Flat Shack.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, what else? Ed Sheds is on the thing. Tell them about Ed Sheds. You got to vote for him, you guys.
Yes, so
Every day I voted for him every single day.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So on Best of the Bay, my comedy troupe that I'm with, Ed Shed, we got on the Fringe Festival, we got the Fringes, and we are now up for Best Experimental Act in Best of the Bay. So
Hey,
if you go through, if you go through entertainment, go to Best Experimental Act, find Ed Shed
Please
and vote. I
vote
would
every day.
love to win.
We got to do this stand up for news. Also, go vote for Best Open Mic for the Parrot Mania comedy at the Parrot for Russell's Room is on there, you guys. And every vote's a stand up for news. Russell, we're sorry you couldn't be here tonight. He usually is here. He's in the hospital
It's
getting
funny,
his foot
'cause
fixed.
I got
His
nominated
foot
for.
is, though, however, getting a starring role in Tim Burton's sequel to A Nightmare
Oh my
Before
God,
Christmas.
That's definitely a nightmare.
A nightmare.
Yeah, that's a dead corpse.
It's called A Nightmare
They've been playing
Before
a dead
Fungus.
corpse. You know?
Yeah.
Listen.
Playing Oogie Boogie Yambo.
Why'd you
Yeah,
show us that picture, man? What was up with that, Russell?
Rob,
I know.
you didn't need to visualize.
I feel like I caught a couple diseases just looking at it. You know, like through the phone. You know, I feel like I gotta go check because I looked at it too long.
Gotta catch them all like
I might have
Pokemon.
jaundice or something. You know? Yeah.
So,
But it's funny. I was gonna say, and I'm just gonna force this
okay,
in
well,
here.
I'm trying to plug
Okay,
Pete's
go ahead. I'm sorry,
Room.
go
It's
ahead.
on Tuesdays at the Parrot every month. Look it up at the Parrot. Look up his open mic. Spike, where you at? Let's get the plugs thing going.
Spike will be on the 22nd. Will be in Clearwater. Will be at the Clear Sky Restaurant on Cleveland.
This month?
Yes,
Awesome.
actually producing the show, so I get to do as much time as I want.
Yeah.
So anyhow, that'll be fun.
Who's on the show with you?
Who's on the show with me? He has to be too quick.
You booked him, Spike.
Just make up a name. It's
There's
okay.
there's a national touring headliner that's going to be on the show. So John will be there. I'm just kidding.
22nd at Clear Sky Draft House, you said?
Clear Sky Restaurant.
The restaurant.
Yeah, they have 5 restaurants. This is the one on Cleveland in downtown Clearwater. And then I'll be on the September the 8th at the Winter Circle in Lakeland, Florida. So I get a nice feature there. So I hope to see that'll be the headline.
They got one of the best wings in all of Tampa Bay.
Interesting fact about him, whenever he shows up to a comedy spot, there's always a spiking in interest. There's always a spike in interest.
You've been a treat. You've been a great guest today. I love it.
Yeah.
You've been quite a treat. John, where are you at? You got
Excuse the pun here, but you're very sharp.
for your age.
I'm the second oldest person in the room, so I'm going to stick up for Spike on this one.
He's looking for something to throw at you.
And he's still more healthier than Mike, though. You have been fun this.
One out of 12. I think there's going to be a ruckus here.
So,
almost like law enforcement.
right?
Actually,
I mean, like, have you seen him in Naked Gun?
yes, called Shirley.
So, yeah, right. So I have September 9th, New Faces of Comedy. I'll be doing that with Taurus and, I will be selling tickets to do all that. So you guys all need to buy a ticket from me. Don't worry, I got it for the low. But I'm going to go out there and try to do what I do, which is just be funny and then depressed off stage.
I think that's called being a comic.
Break a leg, my man. Break a leg.
All right, guys. I just want to promote the podcast that we got out. We got I finally released 2 podcasts. One is Inside Manny, where we have different comics come inside me and we talk. yeah. We sit there, we talk. No, but it's great. That one's great. We had the first one. We had David Aronovich on. We had Scotty Cheese going to be dropping pretty soon. Tommy Chong is there. He's going to be dropping his song. I don't know, man. Magic. I found him hanging out one time. Through Stand Up for News, man. We got the legendary Tommy Chong. On the podcast channel was there, Joe Izzo was there. That'll be coming out soon. Then we have one with the funny Maddie Dion that I have. And also, Robin's always, whenever she can, she hops on the podcast. We try to get as much people as we can, just to kind of talk around. So, and then we got, I have another podcast that we do with Maddie Dion called You Can't Say That. We're on our 5th episode.
It's really funny.
It's silly. It's silly.
Yeah.
We just had,
very funny.
Yeah, she's very funny.
You're funny, too.
Yeah, she's a lot easier to look at than me, so it kind of weighs it out a little bit, you know what I mean? And then she, no, it's been going good, man. You can catch us on YouTube at the High Ground Studios. Okay, the High Ground Studios is spelled out. We have our videos there, then on any streaming platform. We're posted on Apple Music, on Spotify, on pretty much everything, so all the platforms. So You Can't Say That and Inside Manny.
Yeah.
Right, so, yeah.
Some good stuff.
But you can say that inside.
You can't say that. Oh, man, that's hilarious.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to be back at Birdie's next week. That's where I'll be. I didn't get booked for anything this month. Next month I'm booked with Nathan Gilardi at Sunshine City Comedy Club.
Oh, that's coming up already. Boy,
I'm
that
going to
seems
open
like...
the 24th of
Yeah.
the Sunday. It's the 24th, I believe. Just a 7 o'clock show. He'll be headlining. Kurt Ryan will be back in town.
Yeah, he's fun.
Pretty much the same show, except Nathan Gilardi's got his high school teacher. He's doing comedy. He's going to be opening for us too. I'm going to be opening, I think,
that'll
or
be
hosting
interesting.
one of the two. Or the guy, one of them's hosting. I don't care. I just want to be.
His last name always gets me hungry.
Gilardi.
Gilardi, Nathan Gilardi,
Guy.
Yeah.
Guy. He's funny. We love you, Nathan. And funny about it. I was supposed to write a joke about it, wasn't I?
That was
That's
your
the new thing.
assignment.
I get
Write a
jealous,
joke about
though.
your plug.
I get
so birdies, yeah. I didn't have a joke for that either.
Well, I was gonna say I get jealous hearing you guys. You guys are always booked at this place, booked up at that place. Every time I've been booked, I'm in the back of a police car. I don't like it too much, and I get traumatized.
Seriously, it's I start sweating. Every time I see red, white, and blue flashing behind me.
Well, this is the next segment called Pick a Number, and I let our guest pick a number 1 through 524 jokes that are in this book. These aren't news jokes. These are my jokes. So go ahead, Spike, pick a number. And just remember, the lower the number is how far along a time ago I wrote it. So don't pick a low number. Those are in this
back to when I got started. All right, let's do 250.
250.
I'm going with your age.
Will you leave
Get a
this
vest,
man,
Mike.
as the only other person here with white hair? Will you leave this man alone?
It sounds like he books rooms, man. He's
Here
not.
it is. Here's 250. During COVID, this lady was at our table at our bar. I had that table, and we all had to wear masks. Remember?
Mhm.
And I was bartending, and this lady was breastfeeding a little baby right there in front of everybody. And then I was like, she should put a blanket over that, And then my coworker's like, well, you said you're hot under that mask. Imagine how hot the baby would be under a blanket. Why are you saying that? Her name was Stacy. I'm like, 'cause Stacy, do you see how ugly that baby is? All right, back to the news. It's rapid fire. We're going to close the show with some rapid fire news. Robin, fire away.
The first ever black hole image was sharpened by using a machine learning technique called Primo. Much like the news of the confirmed alien life, most Americans decided not to really care about that either.
That's so true. People cared more about aliens before.
Rapid fire.
No,
That's
no,
the
no,
thing.
no.
Let's go. Come on.
I can't
Rapid.
think of anything that happened recently.
Just tell anything in your book. Then.
yes.
Jeez.
This is not how
All right.
rapid
All right. Here
fire
we go.
works, Spike.
Here we go.
You're supposed to go real fast.
This is going to be too old. Here we go. Here we go. Knock,
Yes.
knock.
Who's there?
Who's there?
Say you've heard it. Damn it.
You're so silly. All right, rapid fire. means
All
we go
right.
fast.
So
We
a
go-
football practice was delayed due to the Bears being on the field. And I wouldn't want to play against the Chicago Bears either. So
I thought you meant Russell and his husband.
The wrong kind of tight ends. I got. All right, let's see. So, a photo allegedly showing an image of the Donald Trump on a Bud Light truck has drawn negative attention on the company's social media page because they had a picture of Donald Trump on it, allegedly. But upon a further investigation, the image was not the image was not a truck with Donald Trump's face. It was just an orange school bus. And they thought, and they thought some low hanging fruit, and they're oranges. The fruits are oranges, and I'm grabbing them.
This episode of Stand Up for News is brought to you by Mystery Airheads, you guys. Mystery Airheads. Have you ever had Airheads candy? Delicious. Mystery Airheads is like the glory hole of candies, though. You never know what you're going to get, you guys, but it always tastes great.
Well, you've been to some good glory holes, I gotta say.
I just like candy.
Okay. In Sri Lanka, a snake slithered onto a field where a cricket match was taking place. The snake was visibly embarrassed and told a Stand Up for News animal reporter that he was looking for the other crickets. This is so dumb.
So in Daytona Beach, a burglar had become a carjacker after a pit bull had attacked him. And he took off from the house to steal a car. I guess that's a downgrade. No.
All right. So we'll put cows. Well, we'll say it next time. The cow jokes will wait next time.
It was gonna be
Cows
such a
can't
good
stand up.
joke.
I know. You guys, you're lost. You guys missed it. You
Stand up to. Don't sit down. Stand up now.
Stand up for news. Spike!